What do you think is the calculus of detail, and what is the calculus of
Well, the deal is they're going to have fewer elements. They're going to have fewer people to count on. We have huge. I hear the builders talking. I think that it's fair to say that our interests would be seriously set back in many respects. We are viewed as not capable or willing, most important, to follow through on the things that we say matter. As I said earlier in my testimony, this really is not President Obama's bad luck. The President drew a line that anyone should draw with respect to this convention that we have signed up to, and which has been in place since the horrors of World War I. And the truth is that through all of World War II, through Vietnam, through Korea, through both Gulf Wars, through Afghanistan, through Iraq, the combatants in those efforts have never resorted to this use. So I think that it's clear those two prior usages that I referred to, that we would be opening Pandora's box with respect to a whole set of dangerous consequences as a result of the United States not keeping this word. And it would make our life very, very difficult with respect to North Korea and Iran. There's no question in my mind that those countries are watching, the mullahs and many others are watching what we are doing now with great interest. And that's why the quality of this debate and the nature of this debate are very important. It's very important.
Mr. Chairman, and again, thank you for your testimony. I want to first thank you for bringing this to Congress. I think our foreign policy through the years has been far too focused on administration. I don't think Congress has played the role that it should play in foreign policy. I want to thank you for bringing it here and giving us the opportunity to have this debate in advance. I want to focus a little bit on our strategy with the vetted opposition. I don't know how anybody, matter of fact, I know of no one who's been to the area and spent time with opposition that isn't incredibly dismayed at the lack of progress that is occurring there. I know there's a lot of capacity that has to be built. I know there are interagency discussions about whether we should move to industrial strength training, move away from the kind of activities that are taking place right now to build capacity more quickly. And I just would like for whichever one of you want to respond to talk with us, those of us who've been to the region, who do believe that Syria is important, who are watching what is happening in Iraq, as the sectarian issue moves over there, it's moving into Lebanon, it's moving, certainly destabilizing Jordan. Why have we been so slow, so inept in so many ways at helping build capacity of this opposition that we have said publicly that we support?
Well, Senator, it's a worthy and important question. I've had a number of different meetings with the opposition over the course of the months now since I came in February. Beginning with a meeting in Rome, and subsequently in Istanbul and in Turkey. And the opposition, one should remember that it's a little bit a year ago, there was no great clarity to the structure of that opposition or to who they were, and they certainly had no experience in this kind of an endeavor. Over the course of that year, they have evolved, I would say, significantly. I mean, where they need to be, not completely, but they have changed markedly over the course of the last few months. At our insistence, They elected new leadership. They brought in a much broader base of Syrian representation, including women, including minorities, Christians, others. So they built up a much more competent leadership.
If I could, I've only got a few minutes.
Okay.
I am very aware of all those things. What I'm not aware of is why it's so slow in actually helping them with legal support. Why has that been so slow?
I think, Senator, we need to have that discussion tomorrow in classified session. We can talk about some components of that. Suffice it to say, I want General Dempsey to speak with Secretary Hagel. That is increasing significantly. It has increased its competency. I think it's made leaps and bounds over the course of the last few months. Secretary Hagel, do you want to
I would only add that in June of this year, the President made a decision to support legal assistance to the opposition. As you all know, we have been very supportive with hundreds of millions of dollars of nominal assistance. The vetting process, as Secretary Kerry had noted, has been suggested, but I'll ask General Dempsey if he wants to add anything, but we, Department of Defense, have not been directly involved in this, as you know, covert action. And Secretary Kerry knows that probably to go into much more detail with required.
As he's answering that, if you could be fairly brief, is there anything about the authorization that you're asking that in any way takes away from our stated strategy of empowering vetted opposition to have the capacity over time to join in with a transition government as we have stated from the beginning? Is there anything about this authorization that in any way supplements that?
To your question about the opposition, moderate opposition, the path to the resolution of the Syrian conflict is through a developed, capable moderate opposition. We have to secondly, there's nothing in this resolution that will limit what we're doing now, but we're very focused on the response to the chemical weapons. I think that subsequent to that, we will probably return to have a discussion about what we might do with the moderate opposition more overtly.
So I'm very sympathetic to the issue of chemical warfare. Very sympathetic to what this means to U.S. credibility. And I'm very sympathetic to the fact that people are watching and reading and this will have an impact. But I want to say I am not sympathetic regarding the lack of effort that is taking place, in my opinion, on the ground as it relates to federal opposition. And I hope the end state that you imagine here is something that, while will be proportional, will be surgical, is something that enhances the strategy that we've already laid in place. And I hope you'll answer that yes or no at this time.
The answer to whether I support additional support to the moderate opposition is yes.
And this authorization will support those activities in addition to responding to the weapons of mass destruction.
I don't know how the resolution will resolve, but I support it.
But what you're seeking, what is it you're seeking?
I can't support it.
The action, if it is authorized, the answer is, as I said in my opening comments, that the consequence of degrading its chemical capacity inevitably will also have downstream impact on its military capacity.
And is this authorization is only about weapons of mass destruction?
Correct. This authorization is a limited, targeted effort to focus on deterring and degrading the chemical weapons capacity of the USA.
Is it against any other enemies other than the cyber enemy?
No, sir.
Is it to be utilized in any other country except inside Syria?
No, sir.
I will say that in response to your answer to Senator Menendez, I didn't find that a very appropriate response regarding who was going around. And I do want to say that that's an important element for me, and I hope that as we together work through this. We've worked through something that's much clearer than the answer that you gave. I don't think, while we all feel the actions by the assigned regime are reprehensible, I don't think there are any of us here that are willing to support the possibility of having combat boots on the ground. What we hope as we move through this, administration can be very clear.
Well, let me be very clear now, because I don't want anything coming out of this hearing that leaves any door open to any possibility. So let's shut that door now as tight as we can. All I did was raise a hypothetical question about some possibility, and I'm thinking out loud about how to protect American interests. But if you want to know whether there's any, the answer is whatever prohibition clarifies it to Congress and the American people, it will not be American boots on the ground with respect to the Civil War. Thank you, Senator Martin.
Mr. Chairman and Senator Corker, thank you so much for holding this hearing as a vote of conscience. And I ask you that it's considered my full statement. So I'm going to make a brief statement because a lot of people have asked me, including my on how I do this, and then I will ask the questions about the impact I can. Mr. Chairman, thank you for showing us those images of children, because even though it's really hard to look at, we have to look at it. Children gasping for air, young mothers lying up in the road, should shock the world. And the failure to act, I think, gives license to the Syrian president to use these weapons again. And it sends a terrible signal to other brutal regimes like North Korea. And could I thank you, Secretary Hagel, for bringing up the issue of North Korea, your opening statement, Secretary Kerry, for your bringing it up. I mean, how many of us have been there to the line where we see thousands of our troops standing there, just a stone's throw away from North Korea? We need to think about it. Maybe because I'm from California, I tend to look at Asia. But this is very serious. We've seen that danger up close when we go to that moment. Now, since I came to the Senate, I voted against the Iraq War, but I did vote for the use of force against Osama bin Laden. I voted to support airstrikes against Serbia, but I vocally opposed the military surge in Afghanistan. So I approached the Syria issue in the same way I approached those, with a very heavy heart and a very independent mind. I've heard some of my colleagues compare President Obama's position on Syria to the decision to invade Iraq in 2003, and I thank Secretary Kerry for discussing this because I believe it's a totally false comparison. And I know it's been mentioned before, and you do that line again. In Iraq, the Bush administration prepared to invade and occupy a country with well over 100,000 troops. In this case, the president's been clear, no ground invasion, no occupation, we'll have that in our resolution. So why should we take any targeted action against Syria? Not only is it important to keep North Korea in mind, but also allowing the continued use of chemical weapons to go unanswered makes it much more likely that we'll see it used again in Syria, and we'll see it used maybe elsewhere, and terrorists could obtain those and use them on America or our allies or our troops. Use them, for example, against Israel and other threats. It makes it more likely, and this is key, that Iran will view us as a paper tiger when it comes to their nuclear program, and that is dangerous not only for us and our friends, but for the world. Now, in 1997, the Senate supported a ban on chemical weapons by a vote of 74 to 26. Shouldn't an overwhelming vote like that mean something? Shouldn't the Senate stand behind its words and actions? And then in 2003, we passed the Syria Accountability Act by a vote of 89 to 4. I wrote that bill with Senator Santorum. We had a huge vote in favor of it. This is what it says. Acquisitions of weapons of mass destruction threaten the security of the Middle East and the national security of the United States. Should an overwhelming vote like that mean something? saying. We did so. Now, I know there's tremendous reluctance to get involved in another military conflict. And sometimes the easiest thing to do is to walk away. Well, I agree we cannot close our eyes to this clear violation of long-standing international norms. I believe America's morality, America's reputation, and America's credibility are on the line. I applaud this administration and our president for coming to Congress. I applaud those who asked him to come to Congress. It's the right thing to do. And I will support the targeted effort, but not a blank check, to respond to serious, unspeakable needs to gas its own people to death. And my question is the intel here, and I don't know how much you can give us, so I'm going to tell you this pretty broad, so you can answer it whoever feels most comfortable. A lot of people are fearful because of what happened in Iraq, that there might be some disagreement between the intel agencies. And we have a lot of intelligence agencies, 17 in all over the place. I don't know how many were involved in it, whether it was 4 or 6 or 8. I don't know when you can disclose that. But my question is, was there any argument about this fact that they agreed that there's high confidence that these weapons were used by the Assad regime? Was there any debate? I mean, there was debate. Was there any dissension between the various agencies?
The intelligence community represented by DNI Tapper has released a public document, unclassified, available for all to see, in which they make their judgment with high confidence that the facts are as they have set forth. So, I think that speaks for itself.
Well, I'm going to press just a little bit harder here, Mr. Secretary, if I can. Out of all the different agencies, because I remember in Iraq, sure, eventually the word came down, everyone agreed, but then we found out there was disagreement. To your knowledge, did they all come to the same conclusion, the various intelligence agencies?
To my knowledge, I have no knowledge of any agency that was a dissenter or anybody who had an alternative theory, and I do know, I think it's safe to say, that they have a whole team that ran a scenario to try to test the theory to see if there was any possibility they could come up with an alternative view as to who might have done it. The answer is they could not.
Okay, last question on Intel and Russia. I read, and I don't know if this is true or false, but I read in one of the publications today that members of the Russian parliament are going to come here to lobby colleagues here, to tell colleagues here that there is no such intelligence and there is no group. I myself met with the Russian ambassador several times on this matter, and I knew right away, a long time ago, they would do nothing to help us. But what are they clinging to here? How can they make that case, given what you said?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, there's no way for me to hang my hat on what it is. I think that I've had personal conversations with the foreign ministry. They make an argument to some effect that we don't have evidence and that the opposition with it. No matter what you show, that's the argument they make. Now, as to why they do that or what direction, I'm not going to speculate. The president, as you know, is leaving this evening to go to St. Petersburg for the summit. He will have ample opportunity to hear firsthand from President Putin, and I'm confident they'll have a discussion about it. Senator Rich.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'd like to say, I want to add, though, our Russian, the Russians, I think it's important for us not to get into unnecessary
unnecessary roughness.
For a lot of reasons. The Russians are working with us and cooperating on this effort to try to make the negotiated process work. And I think they're serious about trying to find a way forward with that. Number two, on major issues like START, North Korea, Iran, the Russians are cooperating. So, we have to sort of deal with this thoughtfully, and let's hope that the summit might produce something apart as the president makes the evidence available to President Putin.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, let me say that I've seen the pictures of what happened, and I've been seeing pictures for 14 months or more, 2 years, I guess, of what's going on over there. And you can't have an ounce of compassion if you're not moved tremendously by what's happening there. It's awful. It's horrendous. There's been almost 100,000 people killed there, and we all know, yes, an unclassified setting, we can say that these people have used gas on multiple occasions, but the deaths have only been in the hundreds and not in the thousands. But all of this is moving, and there's no question about it. Nonetheless, I am reluctant. If there was one American, if this was an attack against any American interest, this would be a no-brainer. But I'm reluctant at this point.
We'll arrange
Part
it.
of it stems from where this is going to go, as to the limit that we're going to put on it. Secretary Kerry, you said you met with your counterpart from Russia, and first of all, you say they're cooperating with us on all major issues. I view this as a major issue, and I don't view them as cooperating with us. They're printing their currency, they're providing them with information, they're providing them with technology, they provide them with a tremendous amount of military power. And so the question I have is, what's your counterpart telling you as to what they're going to do when and if America pulls the trigger?
Senator, I understand anybody's reluctance about this, but again, I'd ask you to confront the greater reality of what happens if we don't do something. I mean, if you think it's bad today what they're doing, just think about what happens if they confirm their suspicion that the United States is going to do it. One of the reasons I said was that using these materials is because they have up until now made the calculation that the West, writ large, and the United States particularly, are not going to do anything about it. Immunity is already working to kill a lot of people and to make things more dangerous. Now, I guarantee you that is in their assessment. So, if we make it worse by not being willing to do something, those terrible images you see are going to be worse. But worse than that, our interests will be set back. Israel will be at greater risk. Jordan will be at greater risk. The longer that this conflict goes on, and particularly without that ability to be able to use chemical weapons, the more you will see the humanitarian crisis grow. We are already the largest contributor, thanks to the generosity of other people and the willingness of Congress to move. We're already the largest contributor to refugee camps and borders. Many of you have been to them. You want to see them grow?
Yeah.
You want to see Jordan, which is already fragile? Many of you met with the king. You know King Abdullah's judgment is that he's a Christian who knows what is happening. So I believe the best way to curb that and reduce the threat is by acting.
And I don't disagree. I don't disagree with anything you said. Let's take that and try to expand on that. We need the credibility. There is no question about it. But are we really going to be giving them credibility if we go in with a limited strike, and the day after, or the week after, or the month after, Assad crawls out of his rat hole and says, "Well, I stood up to the strongest power on the face of this earth, and I won." And so now it's business as usual here. And he may say, and by the way, I'm not going to use chemical weapons anymore because I don't like what's just happened. But I'm going to continue to use conventional weapons, and we're going to go on with business as usual, and refugees are going to continue, and thousands are going to be killed. And our allies are going to say, "What's the matter with the United States? You said you'd do something about this. You did a limited strike, but you didn't finish Assad off. And the problem is just as bad as it was." What does that do to our country?
Yeah.
You know, that concerns me.
Well, Senator, let me speak to that. It's a good question. First of all, I think General Dempsey will tell you, Assad may be able to crawl out of the hole and say, "Look, I survived." But there's no way that with reality and other assessors, he's going to be able to say he's better off. There's no
Be more
question
desperate.
that, whatever choices are made by the president, that he and his military efforts will not be better off, number one. And the opposition will know that, the people in Syria will know that. Already today, just with the threat that action may be taken, infections have gone up, and people in Syria are reconsidering whether Assad is a long-term threat. Moreover, the Vance has made clear, Secretary Hagel has made clear, the President has made clear, that there will be additional support to the opposition, which is only now in its third month of receiving the overt support, or about to receive. Chairman Katie knows that things haven't gotten there yet. But that process is in place, and that will increase.
My time's almost up, so I really want to get a handle on this. I think all of us feel strongly about this, and I need to be reassured on this. The other thing that really troubles me about this is what happens if this thing gets close. I mean, what happens? You've been on board between Israel and Lebanon, as I have, and since the last war, I mean, the Hezbollah really beat that up. What happens if they get into it with Israel? What's our response to that?
Well, I talked to the Prime Minister Netanyahu just yesterday, and he made it pretty clear to me that Israel feels very confident about Israel's ability to be able to deal as they have previously with a miscalculation by outside. And the rest of the community, the Turks, the Jordanians, the Emiratis, the Saudis, Qataris, the United States, France, others, all have the capacity. So as I said in my statement, you all have to make the kind of calculation here, just as Assad does. If he's foolish enough to respond to the world's enforcement against his criminal activity, if he does, he will invite something far worse, and I believe something absolutely unsustainable for him. Now, that doesn't mean the United States of America is going to war, as I said in my comments. There's plenty of options here.
Well, we do know
Just one other comment, because it's important to the earlier question. Russia does not have an ideological identity. It's a geopolitical, transactional identity. And our indications are, in many regards, that that's the way they view it. There may be more weapons to sell as a result of weapons sold, but it's not going to elicit some kind of change in confrontation. Now, let me go further. They have condemned the use of chemical weapons. The Russians have. The Iranians have. And as the proof of the use becomes even more clear in the course of this debate, I think it is going to be very difficult for Iran or Russia to decide against all that evidence to do something worth defending here. So this is the kind of calculation you have to make, but I measure that against the calculation of what happens if we don't respond. If we don't respond, we're going to be back here asking you to respond to some greater confrontation, with greater potential for damage and danger, because somebody miscalculated as a result of believing the United States is as good as what it says. And that will invite much greater danger to the American people, much greater risk for our armed forces, and conceivably much greater chances of genuine kind of confrontation that we don't want to see.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Time's up. Thank you.
Senator Carter.
Well, let me thank all of you for being here, but also thank you very much for the service and the Chairman, Senator Corbett, for arranging this hearing. It's very clear that the type of conduct that President Assad has done in Syria, the pattern of his actions creating a humanitarian crisis, and now the use of chemical weapons. The evidence has been presented. It's clear that we have to respond. The military response is justified. So I support your efforts, and Secretary, the way that you have described it is what I think we need to do. We have to have a tailored mission to deal with degrading and deterring the use of chemical weapons. We We need to have it focused on that mission. It's got to be done in a way that protects civilians the best that we can. And it's got to be a very limited duration. I just want to come back to the point that the chairman raised in your own comments, where you say we should shut that door as tightly as possible, dealing with putting our troops on the ground in Syria. I've read the resolution that you presented to us. I think it is broader than what you have stated the President's intentions on the mission. And I understand that, and I understand the President's strong desire to keep the mission very tight. And it certainly does not leave open, it does not close the door on the introduction of ground troops. I've also heard your comments about the unexpected, that something could happen. I would just point out that the President, as Commander-in-Chief, has the authority, the inherent authority to act in urgent situations where time requires that action. And I would suggest that you come to Congress for this authorization. If circumstances change and there's time to come to Congress, you'll have the opportunity to come back to Congress and seek our participation. We are a separate branch of government, as you recall. So I just want to urge you in the strongest possible terms to work with our leadership to draft a resolution that is as tight as we can make it to allow you to carry out the mission that you have defined here today, so that we can go back and tell the American people that we in Congress are supporting your actions, but are not leaving open the door for the introduction of American troops into Syria. I want to talk a little bit about the specific military operations, and I'm going to leave most of this for tomorrow in our discussion. But I just want General Dempsey and Secretary Hagel to understand whether the mission is to degrade the weapons and deter the use of chemical weapons. Have you put into that equation the fact that obviously Syria is aware that we are contemplating military action, and therefore may try to change the equation during this period of time, make it more difficult for us to carry out that mission? Has that been brought into your planning stage?
Yes, Senator, it has, and time works both ways. You recall about a week and a half ago, there was a significant leak that the military planned that caused the regime to react. So time works both ways. We have some pretty significant intelligence capabilities, and we continue to refine our targets.
Both of you have indicated your concern about American military involvement in Syria, that it could draw us in a way that we do not want to be drawn into an internal conflict. Are you also putting into your plans ways to prevent that type of drawing in of America into an internal conflict?
Senator, we are. As I noted in my opening statement, we have taken great care and much time in looking at all, not only the options at the present, but the contingencies that may be a consequence of the President selecting one of those options, including what you had just noted. It is imperfect, as I said, and I think everyone recognizes it. There's always risk. We've tried to minimize that risk in every way we can, every presentation we make. The President has insisted on that while managed across the board. So yes, we've taken a lot of time to focus exactly on
Secretary Kerry, you point out that if we don't act, we're liable to lose some ground. And I just really want to point out, we've had a direct interest here. We not only have humanitarian reasons to respond to the use of chemical weapons, we have direct American interest in that region. We have Americans that are in that region that are at risk of additional chemical use. So I see a direct connection to the U.S. interest. You say we might lose some friends if we don't act. Why don't we have more participation in the U.S. Military response in addition to just support? It seems to me that this appears to be, you understand this America being lead, it does not seem like we have a growing list of countries that are actively joining us.
Exactly.
First of all, there is no definitive list at this point in time because the president has not made a decision specifically which set of choices he's going to operate on. Secondly, as many countries as you can conceivably need to be able to be helpful in a limited operation, have volunteered to be helping. And they stand ready to take part in any specific operation. And we're very, very comfortable with that. But the bottom line, in many ways, remains that we're talking about very specific kinds of capacities that, in some cases, only the United States of America possesses. And so, that remains open. It's a process that will evolve as this debate evolves, as the president makes his decisions, and the joint chiefs of staff and the military present in the various options, and those will probably evolve as mentioned. People may make adjustments in Syria, and I'm sure the Syrians, let's say, will make adjustments as they go on.
Well, I would hope we would have stronger international participation. Is there a consideration of a role for NATO to play here, considering that one of NATO's partners, Turkey, was a direct front line here on the use of chemical weapons? Can we, is that being considered?
Well, as you say, it's being considered. Everything is being considered, and all of these things are being evaluated. Discussions are taking place. I will be meeting on Saturday in Vilnius with European ministers, and then this topic will come up. Most of them, they're all members of NATO, so we will have most of them, not all of them. So we'll have some discussions over there. But at the moment, this is a limited operation with the scope of support and the president makes adjustments that we don't have. We will have very broad, we have already very broad, I think we've had some 53 nations or countries and organizations have acknowledged that chemical weapons were used here and have condemned it publicly. 31 nations have stated publicly that the Assad regime was responsible, and I think we're at about 34 countries have indicated if the allegations are true that they would support some form of action in Syria. So there's a very broad coalition that's growing of people who believe we have to take action in Syria. But the question is, whether or not it makes sense for whatever number to be part of it is a decision that our military and the president have to make as we go on.
I'll reserve the rest of the questions to close. Senator Rubin.
Gentlemen, you all know that the United States government has a shameful record of dishonesty of leading this nation in war.
Gentlemen, sit down or I'll have it on.
Where is the high ground here? Sir,
Please, we'll
Mr. Kerry knows
make
that
sure
this
that the
nation
committee's
is
in
made
order.
a combination war in Vietnam. He knows that this nation used depleted uranium and white phosphorus in Iraq. Where is the moral high ground?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me begin by answering the fundamental question that I get asked a lot. It's a very important issue, and that is why we care about what's happening in Syria. I want to make very clear my belief that what the belief of most members of this committee, and that is that what happens in Syria is a vital national interest to the United States and to our national security for reasons that have already been outlined. The Syrian relationship with Iran is very significant. It's a key part of their ambition to be a regional power, a dominant regional power. In fact, the Iranians love to brag that Syria gives them a border with Israel. Number two, Assad is an anti-American supporter of terrorists, supporter of Hamas, supporter of Hezbollah, and by the way, he's a supporter of Al-Qaeda in Iraq. The same Al-Qaeda in Iraq is responsible for the death and maiming countless brave young men and women who served our country in uniform. It's also of interest to us because of the instability that this is creating in Syria. Instability that's allowing portions of Syria to quickly become kind of what Afghanistan was before 9/11. Premier operational space for global jihadists from abroad to come train and fight and plan attacks in the future. And now, added to that, is this chemical attack, which undermines the post-World War II World War, which basically says that these things are unacceptable. And allies that look at the United States and our capabilities of living up to our security promises is all at risk now as a result of all of this. So, this is why Syria, what's happening in Syria matters to our national interest, why it's so clearly tied to a critical national security interest of the United States. By the way, most of, not all of this was true 2 years ago, when I joined other voices on this committee and in the Senate and beyond that advocated that at that time, when Assad was on the road, the United States should engage in trying to identify moderate elements and equip them so that they became the predominant rebel force in Syria and not others. But that didn't happen. Instead, the choice was made to lead from behind. The choice was made to watch as this thing unfolded. Others advocated that we should just mind our own business. So what we're seeing here now is proof and an example that when America ignores these problems don't ignore us. That we can ignore them, but eventually they grow and they come to visit us at our doorstep. And now we're faced with what we have. In fact, the Secretary Kerry a moment ago, you said that one of the calculations that Assad used in deciding to use chemical weapons was that the U.S. wouldn't do anything about it. And I understand perhaps why he did that calculation, because yes, this was a horrible incident where 1,000 people died. But before this incident, 100,000 people had died, including snipers that were used to pick off civilians, including women that were raped. They were going to these villages and carrying this out, and nothing happened. Of course he reached that calculation. So this is a reminder of what happens when we ignore the world, when we look inward sometimes, when we ignore these problems. They only get worse and more difficult to solve. And that's the mess that we have here right now. We are left with options, all of which are less than ideal. And I want to walk through the three that have been presented to us by different voices, and then ask specifically about the one the President is considering. The first option is to decide to help Syrians remove Assad and replace it more of a moderate government. I think that's the ideal outcome, but it has its own complications. Today, the rebel forces on the ground are not just a moderate rebel. They're a non-moderate rebel. They're jihadists that now control major portions of the country. And in other parts of the country are intermingled with these rebel forces, creating a real prospect that after the fall of Assad, a new civil war could be triggered, one that could involve sectarian violence, massacres of minorities, etc. This comes with its own set of complications. The other, which some voices have advocated, is doing nothing. But that would guarantee the following outcome: and embolden Assad, and embolden Iran, increase instability in the country because portions of that country will still be ungoverned, and it'll also send a message to the world that there is no red line that they should fear crossing. So Iran will move forward toward nuclear weapons. North Korea can act crazier if that's even possible. Our allies in South Korea and Japan can start to doubt their security arrangements with us. Israel may decide it needs to strike Iran unilaterally. Iran will move towards the bomb, which, by the way, won't be an Iranian bomb. There'll be a Turkish bomb as well, a Saudi bomb, and maybe even an Egyptian bomb. The third is the action the President is asking us to consider, what he termed, not me, what he called a shot across the bow. A military strike of limited duration and scope that has three goals, as I understand, that have been outlined here today. Goal number one is to hold Assad accountable. Goal number two is to deter this behavior in the future. And goal number three is to degrade Assad's capacity to carry out these attacks in the future. This is the President wants us to authorize a limited strike that would accomplish these three things. The questions that I have, quite frankly, I'm a bit skeptical that the act that what the President is asking for will provide the support needed to achieve these objectives, and that these objectives are even realistic at this point. So here's my first question. I think I'll ask this in General Dempsey. The calculation that Assad has made is that the reason why he's using these chemical weapons is because he's afraid that if he doesn't, he could lose this war, be overthrown, and killed. That's the calculation that he's made. That's why he uses chemical weapons. He wants to beat the rebels. So my question is this: Can we structure an attack that tips that calculation, where he'll basically decide that he would rather risk being overrun by rebels than risking a limited attack from the U.S. if he uses chemical weapons? He has to decide: I'll use chemical weapons and take on a limited U.S. attack in the future, or I'll risk being overrun by the rebels. How are we going to unbalance that? Lead him to calculate that he's better off risking losing.
Olympus has fallen.
Well, Senator, I think maybe even more serious than that, he reached the point where now things of chemical weapons is just another weapon in its arsenal, and that's the part that makes this so very dangerous. And I think that as I provide advice on what targets may be appropriate, I certainly want to degrade his capabilities coming out of this. I want to come out of this stronger.
Leads me to my second question: How confident are you, and how confident can you express to this committee you are, that we can, in fact, put in place a military plan that's limited in scope and duration that can effectively degrade Assad's capability to carry out future counter?
I'm confident in the capabilities we can bring to bear to deter and degrade. And it won't surprise you to know that we will have not only initial target sets, but subsequent target sets should they become necessary.
And this question is probably of a Secretary Perry. I think this was asked earlier, but I think it's important to elaborate on it. One of the concerns that I have and heard others express is that a side could take 3, 5, 6 days of strikes, maybe longer, maybe shorter, and emerge from that saying, I have faced down the United States, I have held on to power and survived. And at that point, be further emboldened, both domestically and perhaps even abroad. Have we taken that into account? And I understand the argument that inaction would be worse, but have we taken into account what the implications could be of Assad as to whether a limited strike and what that could mean for the long-term prospects of the conflict?
Yes, we absolutely have. We'll certainly take that into account. He will weapon presidents asking for a limited authority to degrade his current capacity and to deter him from using it again. He is not asking for permission from the Congress to go destroy the entire regime or to, do a much more extensive kind of thing. It's not what he's asking. So he will be able to stand up, and no doubt he'll try to claim that somehow this is something positive for him. But I think General Dempsey has made it clear, and I think we believe deeply, as do others who are knowledgeable about this region, that there is no way that it will in fact be beneficial for him, that will not translate for him on the ground, that the defections that are taking place now and other things that will happen will further degrade his capacity to prosecute going forward. And I want to emphasize something. I want to come back to it because I don't want anybody misinterpreting this from earlier. This authorization does not contemplate and should not have any allowance for any troop on the ground. I just want to make that absolutely clear. What I was doing was hypothesizing about a potential it might occur at some point in time, but not in this authorization. In no way, it's crystal clear, there's no problem with our having a language that has zero capacity for American troops on the ground within the authorization of American possession. I don't want anybody in the media or elsewhere to misinterpret that out of here, as I said earlier. I repeat it again now. That's important.
Thank you. And I can assure you that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, gentlemen, for your testimony. I agree that we should not turn our back on such a blatant violation of international norms with respect to the use of chemical weapons, and that if we stand quietly by while a tyrant like Assad uses chemical weapons on his own people, that we will be giving carte blanche to any dictator anywhere in the world to develop and use chemical weapons. I think the question now, as we've all said, is how do we respond specifically? How do we best send a message that it's completely unacceptable to develop, much less use, these types of weapons? And how do we do that without inadvertently spreading the conflict beyond the borders of Syria? That's really the question that we have today. And we've heard that we want to deter the future use of chemical weapons, but according to the President and your testimony today, we don't want to tip the scales on the ground. So how do we ensure that we can do that without spreading the conflict throughout the region? And how do we hit Assad hard enough so that we deter his future use of chemical weapons and yet don't affect the military outcome on the ground?
Well, General, if you want to address this other, don't take these, I'll take the other.
I think the language about not using American military power at such a scale would be our direct action. In other words, this resolution is not asking for the President to be able to use the United States Armed Forces to overthrow the regime. On the other hand, back to the earlier questions about developing a moderate regime that has capabilities to be a stabilized situation inside of Syria. That's the path. Our military action in this case is very focused on chemical weapons, but will have the added benefit of degrading. And it will also have the added benefit of supporting the diplomatic effort.
Senator Shaheen, the president has made it very, very clear that the policy of this administration, and sometimes people have sort of said, question precisely what it is, and I'll tell you precisely what it is. The president is asking the Congress to take steps that will specifically deter and degrade outside capacity to use chemical weapons. He is not asking the Congress for authorization to become whole hog involved in serious civil war, to try to change the regime through military action. This is a targeted action to deal with the problem of chemical weapons. But there is a separate track which the president has already committed the administration of the country to, which is that Assad must go, that he has lost all more authority or capacity to ever govern Syria, and that he is pursuing that, the president is pursuing that track by helping the opposition, by now having made the decision to legally arm that opposition, by upgrading the efforts of the opposition to be able to fight the fight, not the United States, the opposition, and to be able to come to a negotiated settlement, because the president is convinced, as I think everybody is, that there is no military solution